Well, thank you for coming on the
Yeah,
podcast.
absolutely. My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time because I know we're all busy, right?
Sure.
And I know you're a
Yeah.
very busy man, and I do
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, how long did I take to say yes?
A couple of minutes,
Right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
it was
Yeah.
very much appreciated.
Yeah. Of course.
So why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure.
Tell us who you are, what you do,
Cool.
and the couple
Yeah.
things or whatever you're involved in, because I know you're involved in a couple different things.
Yeah. Sure. Well, I'm Adam Beamish. I'm the president and CEO of Mark Beamish Waterproofing. We do waterproofing, caulking, coatings, polished concrete. We got into painting about 5 years ago. And I also am the president and founder of SubSmart, software for subcontractors, which I'm really excited about. I
Yeah.
don't know if I've told you about that yet.
You haven't, and I'm interested to learn more
Yeah, but
about it.
that's taken off. That's been
No.
nuts. And I'm a father of three and involved in the community and that kind of thing. And we're based out of Southern California, two offices in the Bay Area, one in San Diego, headquarters here in Orange County. So
Okay.
that's kind of like the big picture
Yeah.
spiel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so I'm gonna get to my cards here because. And what do you specialize? What's your specialty for Mark Beamish
The
waterproofing?
the specialty trades.
Yes.
Yeah, we do about 50% waterproofing.
Yeah.
That's really our bread and butter, and I'd say it carries the highest liability. So it's
Yeah.
like you can't really dabble in waterproofing. You better be good at it.
No,
if
you
you're
got to
gonna
be
do
all
it.
in,
Yeah.
right?
So we're certified with all the major players, all the main manufacturers. We do them all. So waterproofing is the lead. Caulking, coating. My dad started the business just doing caulking.
Yeah.
Just caulking for tilt ups.
Okay.
So caulking is excellent. Joint fill is excellent. Polished concrete's great. And the paint, like I said, we got into it 5 years ago. Our resume on paint is insane. We're doing this huge arena at my alma mater at Pepperdine.
Oh, okay.
It's like a big sports complex arena thing. We've done all huge multifamily buildings with the paint. So before you know it, our little paint resume has gotten pretty good.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah, it was kind of interesting how we. So can I riff on it a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I want to hear. I want to hear the reason.
When I got into the business, my dad had been doing caulking for about 20 years,
Okay.
and it had grown and it had evolved, and we'd added like scope by scope these other trades. We're doing big tilt up buildings for the caulking, and the next thing that evolved was the interior joint fill. Then we started getting into the sealer. We were asked to do like the dock retaining wall, damp proofing essentially.
Yeah.
That's how we got into waterproofing, and just kind of grew and snowballed from there. And we were kind of taking all these other trades. When I came on, we were doing about 2,000 projects a year, a bunch of small transactions.
Yeah.
So it was so
Busy, huh?
busy, a lot of bids. The feeling of like being a bid mill, like bidding everything, like that. We were definitely experiencing that. And our average transaction size was like, I want to say like $4,000, maybe like 16,000 on the high side. And over the years, my dad was kind of a guy saying he's entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Like any job's a good job.
Say yes.
Say yes,
Figure it out
everything.
later.
And I was kind of observing, from a distance or on the side, like, man, every job is not a good job. And every job carries a ton of liability. Whether it's the waterproofing liability or your construction defects piece, or it's something like just litigation or collecting the money, right? So I just realized I have my phone on. Let me turn it off here.
Yeah, collecting is a
The-
expensive piece.
Yeah, collect.
right?
Well, that was the first thing he asked me to do is collect the money.
Yeah.
Because I was like college boy, and he's like, I'll keep you out of the field as long as I can. So he had me collecting the money, but every job carries liability and risk. And so anyway, so over time, I started trying to acquire more market on the jobs and do
Right.
more of each project and fewer jobs.
More scopes per project
Yep.
rather than one scope
Yep.
per project.
So this last year, we completed just under 700 projects, but like triple the revenue, right?
Yeah.
So we've grown by doing fewer jobs,
Less
more
head-
of the
less
jobs,
headaches, right?
But the other thing about my dad, we talk about the specialties.
Yeah.
Every job was and every trade, he's a confident guy. He thought he could do every trade under the sun. So when I very first started, the economy was kind of rough, and he wanted to like take our trucks and deliver furniture with the trucks. And he was like literally like
Oh,
just do
whatever to make
anything.
$1.
And so that was one of my very first things, kind of stop the over expansion of the service. Like, let's just be good at what we're good at and let's just do that. So
Yeah.
up until adding the paint, I was more trimming and pruning the services than expanding any. We had to close a couple different divisions and different services because
it's rough, huh?
Well, and you just can't, you
can't do it all.
Yeah, they say the master of none.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
jack of all trades, master of none. Like, that's not a good place to live. So
no, it's not.
Yeah, we trimmed it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's where we like to live and what we're good at.
Yeah, stick with what you're good at.
2-3 things and stay with stay where you're at.
Well, you don't like asking your guys in the field to know everything. You want them doing the same thing every day, right? Like,
because you want them to be the best.
Yeah,
that's why people hire you.
Confident.
Yeah,
and when somebody's got a question about how this works with that, like, they know because they do it every day.
Yeah. So because sometimes you see the guys that want to do everything, they don't. Their guys in the field don't really know.
Yeah.
But the guys up top are pushing them to do it, and it makes it difficult.
The figured out thing.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
No, it's not cool for them.
Right.
For the guys, you're throwing them under the bus all the way, and I don't like doing that.
It's tough. Yeah.
All right. Well, you kind of tapped on it, but your origin story. How did you get in this industry, and what was the hardest challenge you had to overcome in the beginning?
Oh man. So, my dad, you've got a copy of his book here. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Not My Business is the name of his book.
Yeah.
He started kind of like a rags to riches story. And growing up, we lived back up to the freeway, and like our backyard wall was the freeway on the other side. And he had a ladder leaned up against the wall, and he would climb over, bye Dad, and he would climb over the back and pick up a ride from the guys in the morning. Okay. So he could have one more cup of coffee. He didn't want to drive into the shop. He wanted to get one more cup of coffee and then, get picked up off the side of the freeway.
Nice. And very efficient.
That's what I saw. And I would ride around in the summers or after school, and he'd be on the walkies with the guys and, like the dirt on the boots kind of program and in the trades and all that. And I had a traumatic brain injury when I was a kid.
Okay.
I skied into a tree face first.
Ooh.
At 8 years old. So, and that's in the book too. So I skied into a tree face first, fractured my skull, and like it punctured the brain sac. And so I had like brain fluid like leaking out of my skull. Like,
wow.
Super near death experience. I shouldn't have made it. I was in and out of the hospital for like 6 months, getting all repaired and fixed. And I don't know how good a job they did, but I'm still here today, right?
Yeah. Seems like they did all right.
So by virtue of that, I was a bubble boy. I was a bookworm, and I really leaned into academics and school. I could figure out what the teacher wanted and give it to him. A student, and I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't playing around at lunchtime because I was, like Humpty Dumpty. I'd all
put back together.
And, so I wasn't confident in the sports. I didn't really play sports. When I started playing sports again, my parents made a rule. I could only play sports where I had to wear a helmet. So I wanted to play baseball. And they're like, well, you got to wear a helmet. I'm like, in the outfield? Come on, Mom. So I quit baseball. So I didn't have the sports thing growing up in high school, but I had the books.
I gotcha.
So I went to college. I studied real hard. I did the whole college thing. And all the meanwhile, my dad's business is growing. But I'm none the wiser to it. I just know I'm like, I went to school and I'd have to pay for anything. I didn't think that, some business helped support that kind of lifestyle. You just don't even know.
At that age, you don't really
no
think
clue
about it. Yeah.
So I graduated college. I wanted to go into public relations because I wanted to work for the Angels. I couldn't play the sports, but I liked the sports. The Anaheim Angels are our local team. And the senior assignment, this is a sticky situation, actually. My senior assignment, the last assignment of college, was to interview the person with the job you wanted to have. So I got to interview the public relations director for the Anaheim Angels.
Oh, that was
and she
cool.
says, you like baseball? Oh, yeah, I love baseball.
Yeah.
You like the Angels? I love the Angels. Did you like it when we won the World Series? I'll never forget. It was so great. She's like, worst year of my life. I couldn't wait for it to be over. I lost my marriage. I became estranged with my children. If you like baseball, take my advice. earn enough money to buy tickets and a jersey and just be a fan. I'm like, well, now you tell me. I just finished,
That's
4
a
years of
terrible.
college, and like, what am I gonna do with my life? So after that, I worked in the real estate. I was doing commercial and residential. I was doing really well.
Yeah.
This was 2004, where I had like $1 million listing, like fresh out of college. Southern California real estate was nuts. I was doing really well, but I had a problem. Everybody who I wanted to be like professionally, I did not want to be like personally. I had my very serious girlfriend at the time I ended up marrying, my current wife. I'm like, I want to get married. I want to have a family, but all these people are doing well in real estate. Dumpster fire home lives. And the some person I was working around at the time, he had like his live-in girlfriend, and then his other girlfriend was the receptionist and the whole bit. I'm like, so I called my dad. I said, hey, I just want to talk with you. So I go to his house, and he's got like a nice house with a nice view. He's got like the coffee like machine in the wall. You push a button, it comes out of the wall. Yeah. And I'm like, all of a sudden, like, Dad, you're rich. When did this happen? Like, just like the scales from I was like, what, like, what do you do again, Dad? Like, what? It
was like an aha moment, huh?
And he's like, well, come work for me, dude. Like, come check it out. Keep your license and come check it out. So I kept my license. I went to work for him. I helped him with the collections. And the very first week I was there on Friday, everyone had digital cameras take photos of their work. So mind you, at the time we did caulking and like real simple waterproofing. On Friday, everybody's coming through after the work and showing off the pictures. Look at what I did. Look at what I did. And showing me the work that's going to be painted over, or it's going to be buried. Super proud of the work. And I'm thinking, these people that I'm working with in real estate, selling these big homes or getting these huge commercial leases, they go home on Friday and go do their drugs, or they drink, or they're cheating on and they're all unhappy, all dissatisfied. And yet, they're making all this money and super successful. And these guys that working with their hands, sweating their reins off, coming, look at what I did, look at what I did. I'm thinking it's getting painted
and they're happy.
And those guys are laying their heads on the pillow at night, sleeping like babies. They're going to barbecue on the weekend, enjoy their family, wrap their kids in their arms. All of a sudden I was like, this is where it's at. Like, this is the good life.
Yeah. The trades aren't as bad as people made it out to be when we were younger, right? Like because they used to make it out to be bad, right?
I mean, and everybody, like, Friday was like celebratory attitude, versus when I was at the real estate, people were like, I didn't get the deal, or I'm going to this or that. And it's like, man, people are happy in this world.
Yeah.
I never looked back. I fell in love with it right away. In fact, one of those guys who came and showed, look at what I did, look at what I did. His son, we just promoted into an office position. This is his first week. And it's fun that, like,
that's really cool, right? That's a cool really achievement, cool. Right? Yeah. To be able to bring somebody up from the son of somebody that's worked here for a long time.
And to be a place where that kind of stuff can happen. So that's how I got involved. Like, I grew with the business from there. But that's how I found myself here in construction after kind of taking a sideways path to real estate and college and public relations. And I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing you didn't go down that path that those other real estate agents were doing, because that can be, what do you call that? Attracting for somebody making a lot of money, young, out of college.
Yeah, I thank God for that coffee with my dad.
Yeah.
And his approach of saying, come check it out. Like, no risk, you know? Grateful for that opportunity, 20-something years ago. So.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. Yeah. That's cool. That's a cool origin story.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go to this. You kind of mentioned it earlier, but in business, what has been a sticky situation that made you better, and how did you handle it, and what did you learn?
Sure. I mean, we get sticky situations all the time. The one I'm thinking about that makes me laugh. A bunch of years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I got invited. Something you guys said earlier triggered me to think of this. But I got invited to go guest lecture at Biola University, a local university here, for a business class. And I was underprepared, and I just winged it. And I did it with one of my teammates here, and we were supposed to do it together. and he had prepared slides. We worked really hard on the whole thing, and I just riffed the whole thing. And I got like maybe maybe a little more than halfway through, and I like ran out of steam. And I looked at him like, kind of like save me,
Somebody take over. Yes.
like I'm not. I've gotten more experience like speaking since then, but that was the first like super sticky situation I could think of. When I was looking over your questions before, I remember a job I had, and this happened a couple times since, but the first time I experienced this, we were doing deck coatings on balconies for a local university, a different private university. And I do job walks once or twice a week. I'll go out and see as many jobs as I can. So I've got my finger on the pulse with what's going on in the field.
Yeah.
And I went out to this job, big job, and we're talking hundreds of decks. And, our work is going fine, it's progressing as normal. The superintendent came up to me. He's like, "Oh, hey, we need to be done August in 4 weeks. We're gonna be done 4 weeks. The students move in." And it was one of those things where like the room spun on me. I'm looking around, like the framing wasn't done. Like there were so many things undone. I'm like, did you just say you think you're going to be done in 4 weeks? He's like, well, the students come and I've got to turn it over. I'm like, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at my superintendent. We both like went cold for a minute. Like,
Yeah.
we're fine. What we're doing is fine, but all the rest of this is not happening.
Sometimes their eyes are a little bigger, right?
So, I think that was the first time him even the client superintendent like saying that out loud to us, I think was the first time that like he got like, oh, we're not going to make it. Like,
Yeah.
So then we put our heads together with our team and we told them, okay, we're going to staff this thing because after we're done, everything has to come after us. So, you're dreaming about this deadline. So it's one of those, even though like I did work in the field, it was ugly, the work I did when I first started. But I went out, I worked that job myself, a bunch of the office guys, we all went out there to help, move things or load things or do whatever, picking up trash, whatever we could to help the GC to get out of that place. And they turned it over on time. There's some touch up they were doing when the students were moving in.
But they got it in.
But I thought it was, and it was a Saturday, Sunday deal. And, it was only 4 weeks for us of a push, but I think it was a literal miracle that every time I drive by this job,
you remember that
we're doing work there currently. And I always think about this, like it's happened since, but that was the first real jarring where like somebody needs to tell them that
this is not going to work. This is not going to work.
That's not happening. But and it was a good experience that, get sweaty, get out in the field and, carry the bags over shoulder the whole bit, so. But that was one of the stickier situations that I've ever been a part of. Okay. And they pulled it off.
They did.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I haven't seen that GC work at that school again. But,
Well, sometimes, they disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into some workforce training.
Sure.
How do you find new personnel here? And then what is your approach to training and retaining good talent? Because it sounds like you retain pretty well.
It's interesting. Like full disclosure, I feel like we're really good on two ends. We're good on retaining the long-term people, and we're good at attracting talent. Okay. Keeping the middle group is a challenge for us.
Okay.
Because we've got such an experienced team. They're really good at training and they don't have fear. Like they're not like, oh, I'm gonna get replaced by somebody new or somebody cheaper. So at times we become a little bit of a training ground for our competition, which is it's a drag, but that's like just the inherent risk in retaining good people and being willing to train
others,
new people.
Yeah.
So do we have it dialed? We don't. I'd say that middle part has been the biggest challenge. And if anybody listening out here has got some advice for me on how to keep that, it's the guys between 4 to 7 years. That's kind of a tough little bracket for us. But retaining the people, I think I've never had the attitude that I know better than them by virtue of I was bubble boy.
Yeah.
Like I'm not better at troweling or polishing or patching than any guy that's ever worked for us. So I don't go out there with that attitude of you should have this or why don't you that, or like, so that doesn't come from the top down. It's more of a tell me how you did that, like, wow, how 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 can we do this more safe, or how can it be better sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time I'm asking, like, show me how you did that. That was great.
Yeah.
So a lot of like giving them honor and respect and dignity is a big part of it. And on the I would say on the attracting talent, same thing. Since we got into painting, I've been shocked that with new hires, I meet everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
do like orientation with them, and I talk to everybody that comes in, no matter if it's San Diego, NorCal, wherever. I try to talk to everybody.
That's awesome.
And I find the guys are shocked that the owner spent a little time with them.
Right.
That's a shame.
It really is, because a lot of them don't.
That's a shame. But that's what I find is the X factor that we got, that we're doing. And the word spreads, like, hey, Adam, Mark,
Came
they're
out.
accessible, and they come out to jobs, and they're not trying to tell you what to do or beat you up. I think that's a differentiator for us. That makes us a more appealing place to work. Also, we just play it straight across the board. When my dad started the business, and I think it's in the book, but I just know it from being around it. One of his kind of founding premises was, could this be done the right way? He had worked for a bunch of people who were cutting corners and cheating cheating the spec, or not doing payroll right, cheating here and there.
Yeah.
And his kind of guiding principles and integrity is like, we're just gonna do it right and see if that works.
Yeah.
And 40 something years later,
I think it works.
yeah. So I think those things help us bring people and keep the right people. And we do better at being sticky on the in between, of course.
Yeah.
That's something that
Do you find
Trying to figure
the pay structure plays a part, or
oh, absolutely.
do you?
And somebody's always gonna pay more than you. Somebody's always gonna give you a couple more bucks. So you've got to be, got to know your people. You got to care.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you got to care.
yeah,
That's the way I've found works the best.
yeah,
Is caring for the people.
yeah.
And that extra couple bucks down the road doesn't matter.
Right. And if it matters to them, it matters to them.
They'll come and talk to you.
Part of my my premise with that, when I meet with them in new hiring, is I even acknowledge, like, you might be here for one job or a couple projects or a short season, but I hope that they like stay
Yeah.
and plant some roots in,
Yeah.
and they become like the guy whose son is working here now, and second generation thing. And
Yeah.
a bunch of our guys, they've been here a long time. They put their kids through college, or their kids are getting adult jobs and moving out and getting married. It's like, this is a place that you can really thrive and grow and develop and,
Yeah.
like, mature as a
person, a human being.
it's not just a job. So,
yeah. Well, I like that. I like that.
and I think it's important to acknowledge you might be here for a wage, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to begrudge anybody that just
Yeah.
needs a paycheck. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool. Like,
'Cause
do
everybody
good work
does.
while you're here.
Yeah. Yeah. Because everybody does.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's cool. So, an industry topic. Topic of the week. I usually like to pick your brain on something
Sure.
you're passionate about,
Yeah.
and I kind of have an idea.
Okay.
As far as yours is your bid smart.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
this is an
Yeah,
opportunity.
Subsmart.
Subsmart.
Yeah,
sorry,
sure.
for you to talk about that, and
Yeah.
because I think you're pretty passionate about that.
Well, man, the Subsmart thing, what's super interesting about it is we kind of backed into being something that's like super AI compatible. So in kind of like broad strokes, when I took over, we had a couple estimators already. And as I started adding more estimators, feeling a lot of anxiety over, like, I like the way I did it. I like the way the top guys did it. But, like, was everybody doing it the same way?
Right.
Terms, conditions, also how it's delivered. Like, is the proposal the same? Is the formatting the same? Are they getting it on time? Is the process being followed that other people have demonstrated is the successful way to win work, right?
Yep.
So we went out, shopped a whole bunch of software solutions, and we picked one and just started getting into it and developing it. It evolved into running our operations, working with our accounting, processing our change orders, processing our daily JHAs, our safety documents, our daily work tickets, the T&M tickets. All of it is all in the same software platform that we bought like 10 years ago. Couple years back, the guy who developed it for us, he's like, "Hey, you got a minute? I'm in town. You want to get lunch?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You know, the thing I made for you, it's the best thing I ever made." And I get asked to do stuff like it all the time, and I just think there's something there. I'm like, "It's crazy you mentioned that." He doesn't live in Southern California.
Okay.
And I was like, within maybe 4 weeks prior, I was up all night. I woke up my wife. I said, "I think there's something with our software. I think there's like a business there, like the software that we're running." Because I talked to other subs in the community. They asked me about it. I'm kind of helping them like tidy up their stuff to be more like ours. And she's like, "Okay." And she's kind of like, "Whatever, go back to sleep." But the fact that he called me within weeks,
Yeah.
and it was like,
Yeah.
and he's from Texas. For him to have had the same experience, I hadn't seen him in a bunch of years, was kind of a weird like God thing. Like, oh, there's a thing.
Yeah, like a divine appointment almost,
Yeah.
right?
So Subsmart takes everything from the invitation to bid. You know, you get invitations to bid on all the different platforms. Well, ours, we can pull it into the system and it sorts it all into one platform. But it's not just managing the bids.
Okay.
It takes it all the way through to invoicing, dispatching, collecting all your documents, and so that's nice. It's all in one one platform, one software. Your whole team is interacting with the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what we didn't know until recently is so powerful about it is now that like AI is so big and like there's all this opportunity with AI. The first step with using AI for your business is getting all your data in one place.
Yep.
Well, if you're using our software, it's already in one place. So it's it's like step one to have a business that AI can actually like work with you and do something for you is getting everything in one place, and like that's what we do. So it's been a cool, now that everyone wants AI, like our platform is taken off and people
Really?
are using it. And what's fun for me is I get to interact with a ton of people that do what we do.
Right.
The concrete polishing or sealers, concrete repairs, paint, waterproofing, roofing, a drywall, the different trades are like kind of similar, adjacent all over the country.
Yeah.
Getting to work with them. And we all got the same pain. We've all got like too many different platforms we're dealing with, or we're texting a guy thing, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste.
Missing this or missing that.
Or you've got it all on a whiteboard and the cleaning people come by and clean it for you. And you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's my whole backlog. Don't do that." Like there's all these different kind of pains that we're all dealing with the same. Or the spreadsheet, I've got this spreadsheet, but so-and-so has this spreadsheet. It's like, to follow up on a thing, you've got to have so many conversations or pull down so many different softwares to get like a whole picture, and have it all in one place is like game changer.
Right.
So it's been cool seeing that take off. And we have 10 years of using it here and having it work for us.
So a lot of exercise on it.
Yeah. So
that's
pretty
cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's been a cool thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
So then what advice would you give someone coming into like a younger generation coming into this industry? What advice would you give them?
Yeah. Great question. Humility. I see so many young guys come in and they try to there was a local outfit here, no longer around, where they were trying to bring something new and something different, and it was like there was a arrogance to what they're trying to bring. And right off the bat, we're like, well, that's not going to work. Because, you've been around for a while, and you've got to be the wisdom of the ages. The guys that have been doing it for 40 years, they know a lot more than they get credit for.
Absolutely.
Just because somebody doesn't read books doesn't mean they're dumb. Do you know what I mean? Like you learn a lot from a dude that knows how to build a thing. And I think too many guys come into this industry thinking that they know better because they read books or went to some seminar.
Or drive fancy cars.
Yeah,
Or it's not about that.
That's not what it's about, yeah.
I like the guys that have been doing it for 40, 50 years and, they got an old pickup truck and...
Right. Yeah, hear them out for a minute,
And they may be really wealthy, but
right.
but they don't have the modern look of wealthy, right?
Yeah.
And wealthy meaning wisdom as well as
Yeah.
a good
Ask
business.
questions,
Yeah,
yeah.
because wealthy is not always about money, right? Like it's about that
Yeah.
wisdom and
It's
this.
funny. I'm in this group of like Christian business owners, and one of the guys it was today we met, and he was talking about, well, revenue this, and if I'm trying to sell and I could get a 10x if I hit this revenue number. And I just sat back, and I'm one of the older guys in the group, ironically, because I'm not that old. But I'm one of the older guys in the group. I sat back, and I looked at the guy next to me, and I'm like, do not chase revenue. Revenue is the wrong goal. Chasing revenue
I've been there.
leads to a ton of bad decisions. You're right? I mean, I wasted a lot of years chasing the revenue.
So did I.
So this guy's talking about revenue this and getting my multiplier. I'm like, and the other thing, and this is what I shared with him, there's just a whole lot more to life than money.
Whole lot.
Like I've had some, I've had a lot, I've had a little, I've been in debt, I've lost, I've won. There's a whole lot more to life than the money.
Yeah.
So
because it comes and goes.
I mean,
but this stays forever,
right?
Your integrity stays forever, no matter if it's up or down.
Yeah. So chasing the revenue is a trap.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys are doing that.
Yeah.
Right now. I did 100 million. Yeah, but did you keep what? Did you keep one? You kept one. It's
Cash, baby. And
it's a lot of headache
and your integrity. And
your burnout.
Yeah.
And you're just you don't care about your people. You care about that revenue.
Yeah, you gotta decide what's important to you. And
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta learn that the hard way, though, right? I mean,
I've been really good, and I went down to zero in a very quick time by chasing revenue.
Yeah.
And I regret it, but I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I know I won't chase it again.
Yeah. Man, when I first started, we had some crazy revenue goal. And I look back at that and I only laugh. Because what for?
Yeah.
You hit it and you're like, oh, shoot.
But did you make any money?
Yeah.
Usually the guys that are chasing that big number, they're not making very much.
And it leads to bad decisions.
Yeah.
Acquisitions.
Take this jobs.
Or clients you should never.
Yeah. Bad clients.
Yeah.
You want to take every client. And every client, like you said earlier, every job's not a good job.
Yeah.
Not for you, anyways. It may be good for somebody else.
Yeah.
But that one may not be good for you.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so, what do you wish someone had told you when you came in and started? Sounds like your dad gave you a lot of good advice.
My dad gave me good advice. I had my father-in-law he was like a senior partner at a Big Four accounting firm. He gave me really good advice. Not too late. I wish I'd heard it earlier. Mm-hmm. But the terms under which it became present were kind of funny. I was 26 years old, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I was very insecure, unsure about my decisions and the direction that I wanted to take things. And my father-in-law said, you're the president, right? I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, you should probably act like it a little bit more. That hit hard.
Yeah, and then coming from your father-in-law, right?
Yeah. He was out from the Midwest where he lives, and he worked out of our conference room for the week while he's visiting, and that was a takeaway for him that he shared with me. I was like,
that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. So that's something I wish I'd, like, whatever title you got, like,
own it. Own it.
Behave like it, like,
yeah.
I think I was too deferential and too, I don't know. That was a good lesson.
Yeah.
Good lesson learned maybe a little too late.
Yeah. But, 26.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
We're just getting started, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to talk about, this is one of the final ones, but we are, like we talked about, starting the nonprofit with a 60-day training program for the guys coming out of prison, drug addicts out of rehab, veterans out of rehab, stuff like that. So if there was a program like that, in the middle of the country to prepare new hires for the workforce, would you be willing to be a part of something like that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And why? And then do you have any?
Yeah. Well, tell me why you got into it. I didn't get a chance to ask about it. So, like, what was your entry to this? What inspired it?
Okay. Well, when I was a young man, I was a drug addict from a young age till I was 24 years old, in and out of prison. Um, and then finally, I just made a decision to stop. And I wanted a better life. You know, I already
Okay.
had kids, and they were off somewhere else, and I wasn't a part of that
Yeah.
life.
Wow.
You know, and then I went to church out of prison, and I got saved,
Okay.
and just changed my entire life from that day on.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I did.
Right?
Locked myself in a room at my dad's house for probably 30 days. You know, not really locked him in there, but like,
Yeah.
I just stayed at my dad's house for
Yeah.
30 days. I went
Hunkered
to church
down.
every Sunday with my grandmother, and
Yeah. You did like
just-
your own teen challenge program there.
yeah, because I knew myself, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I haven't really ever told this story to anybody in the industry too much.
Sure.
But now's the time to start
Yeah.
doing it. So this is the reason, right? So I went there and started my business at that point.
Okay.
And I didn't have no money. My dad lost his business at that time. Neither of us had anything.
Right.
And so we just started. We were doing coatings and pool deck coatings and pouring concrete and whatever we could do
Right.
to make a living.
Yeah.
And we did really well.
Yeah.
We built TNT resurfacing concrete out of that in the Northern California. We built that up, and I was chasing revenue,
Yeah.
really hard. And then I went to merge with another company, and then that turned out to be a disaster.
Sure. Yeah.
Lost everything I had again.
Yeah.
So then we started over again, and from that point on, I about drank myself to death. And then about a year after that, I called my son and my dad, and I just said, you know what, I'm done again.
Yeah. Good.
Let's start over. So we started another little business that turned out to take off really quick, and really fast. And then so my wife and I have been talking. We've been talking about this program probably for 10 years.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
during this
Yeah, yeah.
process, and the pastor at the church I went to, and we've been talking about this for a long time.
Sure.
So now I'm like, all right. This guy told me, you know, my son, he told me, he said, you got to do the podcast.
Yeah.
You got to do this.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
And he pushed me. Every day we were working
Right.
and grinding, doing things.
Yeah.
He said, you got to do it.
Yeah.
So I did it. We're
Good.
doing it. So now
I love it.
So we've started. So that's the reason
Okay.
why.
Okay.
So not all of my friends, but a group of my friends that I grew up with and ran around with, you know, some went to the military. Some are doing life in prison now because the choices that
Right.
they've made, and whether I would have changed my life or not, I probably would have been right there with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so this industry has treated me very well.
Yeah.
And so I want to give back.
Yep.
And that's all I want to do
Okay.
is give back.
Okay.
We have a small company that we run, and that pays my bills, and
Right.
and it's fine.
Yeah.
You know. So now my focus is doing this podcast and putting a nonprofit organization together.
Yeah.
And so
Getting the word out.
getting the word out,
finding good
talking to guys
partners.
like you,
Sure.
you know, and
Yeah.
it's been working out really well
Okay.
and well received
Okay.
so far.
Well, it's interesting.
So that's the reason why.
Part of the reason I asked, and I was baiting you a little bit. Thank you
Okay.
for sharing your story. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
You should share that more. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
And
so powerful.
and I will.
And I think people. So my experience has been, and it's been lived and observed, is that kind of change can only happen with the Lord,
Yeah.
right?
I agree. 100% agree.
So
We're on the same page there.
So if we're with the opportunities that you're providing, like if that's part of the mix, I'm into that, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's definitely the focus.
yeah, but having been doing this for 20 years, you know, like we said before, I've seen things.
Yeah.
And the kind of transformation you're talking about is possible
Absolutely.
with the one ingredient of the Lord being in it.
Yep.
So I'm excited about what you're doing.
It's the mix and the focus,
Yeah.
right? And so,
yeah.
you know, it's hard with the state of like the
Sure.
state places
Yeah.
to call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so you
Yeah.
can cut that out maybe,
Yeah,
but you know, but this because state funding
Yeah,
and
sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, the politics.
Yeah. But that's awesome.
But that's the focus.
Yeah. That's very cool.
So that's the reason. Do you have any input on on a program like that?
In my dad's book, we had a season where we were closely associated with the Teen Challenge. I don't know if they have Teen Challenge where you're from, but it there's still chapters in the U.S. There's a chapter in Sparks, Nevada, but it's similar type of program, similar type of focus, and
Yeah.
it's a ministry, and those type of intersections have helped build who we are today at its core, of being a place where home for second chances,
Second chances. Yeah.
a place that we would maybe not make a decision that the worldly wisdom would agree with,
Yeah.
but trying to look at things with a different filter, with a different lens.
Yeah.
And my dad modeled that for me for 20 years, and modeled it well. A lot of people like, oh, my dad this, my dad that. Phenomenal mentor for me,
Yeah.
and he's modeled winning and losing, and good decisions and bad decisions really well to me. And I've tried to continue that legacy and honor what he's done. And I hope I've been a good steward of the business, that when opportunities like that come along, that we're saying yes,
Yeah.
and we're participating with that.
I like
Because it's like I said, it's part of our DNA.
Yeah, it's a big deal too.
Yeah.
Like people need a push.
Yeah.
People need an opportunity, right? I've seen a couple people do programs like this, and with the revenue as the focus.
Right.
Where I don't want the money part
Right.
of it. I just want it to function to where it's helps the people.
Yep. That we're
on
doing good.
the training part
Yeah.
of the people, and then also the people that own businesses like you and
Right.
I, and the hundreds of other guys out here.
Right.
It helps them get an employee
Yeah.
that's not starting from
There are
scratch.
so many of us.
Yes,
There's so many, and we're all looking for good people. We're all looking for people that are willing to put in the try.
Yeah,
And that's what we're all looking for.
and everybody I talk to, there's not one of them that say they're not looking for somebody. That everybody needs somebody,
Yep.
and whoever that somebody is, I want to be able to give them an opportunity.
Yep.
So.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing, and
Yeah.
it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot of guys I grew up with that I really love,
Yeah.
but they'll never have that opportunity
Right.
now because they didn't have the luxury of having family to support,
Right.
right? When they got out, they just
Yeah.
went back to the normal.
Yeah.
And if I could help someone,
Get some skills,
One-
get some hope.
one
Get some
piece of hope,
opportunities. Yeah.
I mean, awesome, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's do it.
yeah,
I
we're
love
doing
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's wrap it up. Where can people find your company online? And any last thoughts or shout outs to people that have helped you along the way?
Man, shout outs endless.
Yeah.
You don't make it long without having a whole village to support you.
Yeah.
From the banker to the vendor, the supplier, the manufacturers, and everyone in between. So we've got just a tremendous village supporting both Mark Beamish Waterproofing and Subsmart. Mark Beamish is markbeamish.com, waterproofing, caulking, coatings, paint. And then Subsmart is getsubsmart.com. And I'm really excited. I think your podcast here is a good platform to other subcontractors. We really can help. And everybody we go into suffers from a similar pains.
Yeah, the pain.
That we've been able to solve a lot of those through software and systems and discipline, and we're helping people, and that feels really good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I get to travel a little bit and get to know more people, and I'm loving it. It's
Yeah,
really fun. So
the traveling part and meeting people is pretty cool,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because you really don't know what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
You kind of think about what they're doing.
But it's wild. I'm finding we all kind of got the same.
It's
The same
We're living the
DNA
same life.
and the same problems, just in a different place and a different,
And it's pretty cool to see the different places,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And that's I like that part of it.
yeah, yeah. It's really rewarding.
Well, all right. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
of course.
I appreciate
It was
you
a pleasure. Yeah,
I
thank you.
appreciate you
Sure.
doing this and taking the time.
Yeah.
'Cause I know you're busy.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.